Shalom Chaverim and Bruchim Abayim to Israel for our special teachings that we're bringing you live, explosive teachings with our good friend Eldad Keynan from Israel. If you have not had a chance to watch his teaching before, please make sure you catch the teaching you've done before from Mount Meron. Eldad, first of all, good morning to you. Boker Tov. We just finished Simchat Torah here in Israel, and we are here to discover the land of Israel, specifically as we're relating to the relationship, as we're learning about the relationship between Messianic Jews, ancient Messianic Jews, and Judaism, and even early Christianity as we know it. So Eldad, you are an expert in the area of caves. I want to start and say that this is not just an expertise of academics for you, this is a passion for you, the topic of caves. Tombs. And, you know, I had a chance to see these incredible discoveries all on Mount Meron. And you told me, wait, you've not seen anything yet, because this area is here filled with discoveries all over the land. So we are right now we are in the Golan Heights. Right. First of all, we need to explain to us, the Golan and the Galilee should be considered one entity, yes? Or how should we think about the Golan and the Galilee? As one entity in sense of a religious sense and so forth?
In halachic sense, it's the same, it's one and the same part of Israel. The Golan Heights and the Galilee, according to the rabbis, were the same area.
Now, when we're talking about this area, we're talking both Tanaic and Amoraim,
of course,
Amoraic area.
Of course.
So what time frame are we talking about here today?
Well, if our starting point is mid-1st century CE, right after the crucifixion, here Jews lived here around, I think, at least until the 6th century CE, if not even later.
Okay, now your thesis, I mean, and again, you are a researcher. People need to understand. Yeah. You're not a religious Jew, you're not a Messianic Jew, you're a researcher, you're an investigator of...
And just a Jew.
And just a Jew. And you look at these things purely from evidence, empirical evidence, right here on the land. Give us, first of all, if I would give a title, Messianic Jews, normative Jews, what I call those who adhere to Pharisaic traditions, still continue. Do they live side by side with each other?
Of course.
No doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt.
We will see the evidence earlier.
Later. Yeah, so today we are, first of all, we are in a beautiful area here in the Golan, but tell us, where are we actually now? So we
are in the southern part of the Golan Heights. The village of Kanaf is not far from here, a modern Jewish village.
Let's show them. This is Kanaf. It's a modern Jewish village.
No, we don't see Kanaf from this point.
But it's very close, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can see the plantations up there.
Yes. We are not that far, actually, also from Jordan.
Yes. It's about 50 kilometers, 10 miles.
So we passed Gamla. Those of you who know, we just passed Gamla on the way here. And we are here in what is the name of this place in specific?
The place is known as Dir Aziz.
Now, before we actually talk about Dir Aziz, you've done some interesting research from Shmuel Fry that you quoted a very interesting thing to me. Again, I would like to give the context before we talk about this, some things you even found from the church fathers, what they call the first and second century church fathers. Share with us a little bit some amazing discoveries from that front.
Well, I was reading Shmuel Fry's book, and he noted that Saint Irenaeus of Lyon, one of the senior church fathers and one of the oldest church fathers, he wrote a book, Contra Heresies, Against Heresies. In Latin, it's Adversus Hereses.
Yes.
And I quote his book 1, part 26.
What did he say there?
As to the prophetical writing, he means Christian Jews,
or what we know as Messianic Jews.
Right, yes. In particular, he's talking about one group, but it was the largest and most well-known group of Christian Jews, Messianic Jews. As to the prophetical writing, they endeavor to expound them in a somewhat singular manner. They practice circumcision, preserve in the observance of those customs which are enjoined by the Jew, by the law, and are so Judaic in their style of life that they even adore Jerusalem as if it were the house of God.
That is absolutely
being Jewish.
Being Jewish, but let's break it down. Let's see why it say. I want you to hear that if you have never heard that from the church fathers. First of all, we can agree that he does not take a very positive view of them.
No.
Quite a negative view of Messiah.
To him,
do we know roughly when it was written by him, where it was said?
Mid-2nd century.
So mid-2nd century, this is even after Bar Kokhba.
Yeah.
Messianic Jews are here after Bar Kokhba, and as you state, they've been here for 400 or 500 years.
Yes, of course.
Okay, that is the thesis here. And they say that they practice circumcision, which of course a person who is circumcised is a there, he live according to the Torah. If one is circumcised. And he mentioned somewhat singular matter, which speaking about halakha.
Right.
They are adhering to what halakha? That's the next question to you. Is it a completely Pharisaic halakha, or is it Messianic? What kind of halakha do you...
It's not a Messianic halakha. It's Jewish halakha.
It's a Jewish halakha.
Of course.
They live as Jews, okay?
Of course.
And it's a preserve the observance of those customs. I got to ask you about this.
He's shocked.
This is shocked. Because when it's a custom, when we think about the word covenant,
and he's angry.
In the Hebrew word, it's like the Masoret. He's talking about the Masoret.
Yes.
So they are there. Do you think, honestly, Eldad, this is a huge topic. I want your opinion, because this is a huge topic for Messianic Jews. Do you think that they live according to also they adhere to oral Torah?
I guess, yeah, well.
I mean, I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Because he's talking about oral.
They lived with halachic Jews, with rabbinic Jews at the same places, at the same time.
Shocking.
They all shared the same halakha.
Wow, that is stunning. And then he speak about Yerushalayim.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because more than likely, not more definitely, when he's writing this, temple is already been destroyed.
To him, it's a crime.
It's a crime, right?
Yeah. You see it here.
Yeah, he's very
he's angry.
He's very, very angry.
Yeah.
Now, there is any asmachta for this writing also in a Jewish writing, like you quoted from Shmuel Safrai? He is taking this as authority, right?
Yeah.
So what does he say? Friends, in a
very
second...
simple. I quote him.
Yes?
I will translate to English while reading the Hebrew. It's a book by Shmuel Safrai.
There you go, let's...
Professor Safrai was a religious Jew
and
a man of knowledge.
Yeah, very highly respected, truly highly respected.
Yeah, he's already dead, by the way. I will read it in Hebrew and translate directly to English. The custom to pray in the direction of Jerusalem was accepted also among the Christian Jewish groups.
That's shocking. Say it again to the people. I want everybody to hear what he's saying.
The custom of praying in the direction of Jerusalem was accepted among the different groups of Christian Jews.
So, okay, give us a background. This is important. Christian structure, the way they place their churches and the way the synagogue is being placed is going to be different, right? The way we pray.
Yeah.
A Jew will always pray.
No, not always, but...
will pray more than likely towards Jerusalem, right?
Ah, yeah. This is always, yeah.
A Jew will pray all towards Jerusalem.
In the direction of Jerusalem, yes.
What about a non-Jew?
Well, if we talk about Christians, there were no Muslims at the time. Churches are always directed from west to east.
Interesting.
Since the second coming of Jesus will be from the east.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Listen, already what he says here is absolutely stunning. Yeah. That Messianic Jews pray like Jews.
They know, I don't think they are like Jews. They are Jews.
They're not like Jews. They are Jews.
Yeah.
So anybody said there are no such a thing as Jewish people who follow Yeshua who live as Jews. I have a real problem with that.
Sorry. A Christian is testifying for their existence.
In a negative way.
No matter.
Yeah, that's the most interesting. So now, bring it to the context for a second of where we're standing and why this is significant to what we just read.
Okay, we're standing in just a few feet above the what they call the Synagogue of Deir Aziz. By the way, the word Dir in Arabic means monastery.
Monastery, it's also
Yes,
very interesting.
monastery with a synagogue.
Yeah, monastery is a
There
synagogue.
is the first problem, which I can solve. And we will see later that this so-called synagogue is directed west-east, but it has an apse toward Jerusalem in the south wall.
Interesting, interesting. So there's the first artifact we find here. Very, very, very important.
Very intriguing.
Very intriguing. Let's see if I can actually show it to the folks.
You can.
Here we go. I hope everybody can see it. What are we looking at right now? This is amazing. And by the way, tourist companies do not know that. Look, friends, look where we are. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Show them this.
This is
oil press.
oil press.
Large and impressive.
I want you to see the view around us, but you notice there are no tourists here. If this is such a huge discovery, why wouldn't be a tourist here? Why would
I think the answer is that there are no shopping centers around and no fancy restaurants, and no one can make extra money from visiting here.
So what are we looking at here? Because people need to understand, we are right next to the synagogue, right?
20 meters.
Oh, no, the synagogue here, right?
Yeah.
22 minutes, we walk. 2 seconds.
1 minute.
1 minute. You said 20, you meant 2.
20 meters.
20 meters. Oh, yeah, 20 meters. So look what's found next to the synagogue, and in a second you understand. Okay, talk to us about this for a moment.
Well, first, it's not the original place. It was about a year ago. It was much more closer to the synagogue.
Okay,
to the so-called synagogue.
Okay.
What I want you to see is first
Shocking.
that it's not a sink.
What is this sink? What do you think? It's for Netilat Yadayim?
No. It's not a sink because the water cannot run down. It is now broken. It was not in the original form. You see, this hole is closed. The water cannot run down, so it cannot be. It cannot serve Netilat Yadayim.
It cannot, because the water have to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, not to stay in.
Right.
And look at this recess. It is stylized. It's not just a recess. I want to point at the projected points of this recess. 1, 2, 3, 4. To simplify it, I can do just like this.
That look like what I think it looks like? Is that what I think you're telling me?
In Hebrew, it's
a tzlav.
Tzlav.
It's a
in
tzlav?
English, it's
cross.
Yeah.
Are you saying to us that inside this sink, in the synagogue, there was a symbol of a cross? Is that what you are thinking?
If this was in a synagogue or very close to the synagogue, well, yes, it's what you think.
How can it be? How is it possible? This is a very amazing, this is like a real amazing synagogue. Now, researcher says...
A real amazing synagogue. Yeah.
Wait a second, what is the date of this synagogue?
Well, they say it was first built in the 4th century, and the second stage of building was in the 6th century. So maybe the last part was completely Christian.
Yes.
This is probably why the place is named the Monastery of Aziz.
So maybe Aziz was a Messianic.
But Aziz is a Semitic name.
Interesting.
Yeah, it might be even Hebrew.
But it's a synagogue.
But it's a synagogue, and they say that Aziz was the donator of the first stage, the 4th century. There is
Friends, are you understanding? What are you looking at?
Let's make it again.
So why would you think there would be a cross in the sink? Probably.
Well, let me answer. If there is a possibility that this is completely Christian and not Christian Jewish.
A possibility.
A possibility. But to accept this, we must have more finds to support this possibility around this place. And we don't have them. We have what the excavators call a synagogue with an apse, which is a completely...
Can we go there?
Yeah.
Can you show it to us?
Yeah.
Are you saying that the evidence suggests that this is a completely Christian structure, or is it a completely Messianic Jewish structure? What is the evidence suggest?
I would not use the term completely.
What the evidence suggests?
I think the evidence is leaning to Christian Jewish.
When we say Christian Jewish, you mean Messianic Jews.
Yes.
Messianic Jews. Let's go and examine it just a little bit more. Let's go. I hope you're blessed by this. Okay, Eldad, you lead the way. And as you lead, I will let you to continue to speak with us as we are walking together. Friends, we are walking now. We are here on the Ramah, so this is like we have to go down. One level below us is the actual synagogue. Eldad, this is absolutely an amazing discovery, but my question is, why would they have a cross, do you think, inside water? How do they use this? If it is truly a Messianic Jewish, how do you think that they actually use this?
Well, I think if this is Messianic Jewish,
yes,
Jewish Messianic, no matter, maybe if these Messianic Jews were the last part of moving from Christianity, from Judaism to Christianity.
So they have like a cross, they did the thing like this, so they're kind of moving, but this is still called a synagogue.
Yeah.
So
you are confused.
Yeah, we are.
Everybody is.
Yeah, so please, as you walk down, explain this to us.
Yeah.
Eldad, what were the profile of those people? Are they Christians? And are they Jews? Because you tell us that it's...
Basically the Jews. Living with other Jews according to the Galilean halakha, which is rabbinic halakha.
They're living according to... Wow.
Yeah.
So they're adding their own kind of minhag. They're adding some of their own minhagim.
Which leads them out of Judaism.
Ultimately.
At the end of the road.
So you're saying in the end of the... But again, if this is 4th century... That means that Messianic Jews continue to live for the land. Everybody knows that 1st century we had Messianic Jews here, but Eldad, what you're suggesting here is Messianic Jews continue way longer. Even after the Council of Nicaea, there were still Messianic Jews.
After it.
You think until what, 4th, 5th century, in your opinion?
We have evidence at least until the late 5th century.
Wow.
And maybe some from the 6th century, which I don't relate to this evidence.
This is absolutely, friends. Again, this is Rabbi Shapira coming to you from a live report from the land. We are talking about Messianic Jews. And if you're blessed by this, please check us out online, subscribe, share those videos. We are actually thinking about putting this into a book format, friends. If you're blessed by this, also please support the work that we're doing here in Israel. It's a great joy for us to bring it. Now we are walking into the actual synagogue, yes?
Yes.
Okay, please stand so I can show people the synagogue. This is the synagogue, and that's known. Here, go inside so people can see.
This was the door, here.
That was the door for the synagogue.
Yeah. You can see the shaft.
Wow. This is an ancient... Wow, we can see these.
Hinges.
Oh yeah, you can see the hinges. Let me see if I can show people the hinges for the synagogue. Now, what is unique? What is the uniqueness now that suggests...
that we have the name of Aziza, which is...
We do.
The place is after him. It's Latin. A-Z-I-Z-O.
Wait a second, how can it be if it's a synagogue? Why is it in Latin?
No, people could use these languages.
Really? Even in synagogues?
It's not an exception. Yeah.
It's not... Okay.
Azizo.
What kind of name is Azizo?
Aziz is in Arabic, it's loved by God.
But this is before. Wait, that's.
Of course, it's before. Aziz might be interpreted in Hebrew and Aramaic as strong.
Strong, okay.
Yeah. Aziz, Oz.
Okay.
And this was the name of, as the sign says below, that Azizo was one of the donators or the builders.
Okay, and how big do you think this synagogue was actually was?
This is the foreyard.
Foyer.
Yeah.
So it's a community, kind of a community synagogue, yeah?
Yeah.
A community. I want them to see the synagogue.
Down there is the main entrance. Down there.
Okay.
And I always...
There you go. So there's an entrance there?
And an entrance here.
Okay, there are two entrances.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And I always wondered, why did they build this door? Because this door forces you to bow when you enter.
What do you think this is?
I would ask a different question. How many synagogues have such a forcing door? Do you know any?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, although you're smaller than me, you must bow if you want to get in.
Yes, yes, yes.
I guess bowing to the east, in here when you enter in, you bow to the east. And the east is the place, direction of the second coming. Right?
Yes.
This synagogue...
Wait a second, but this is a synagogue, it's not a church.
Of course it's not. Maybe. Well, most of the ancient synagogues in the Galilee and the Golan Heights are directed north-south to Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, that's what we just read a little bit ago.
Here. This is what Irenaeus tells us. But this synagogue is directed west-east.
But it's a synagogue. How can a synagogue be west to east? Something does not add here in the story.
Maybe the people of this synagogue accepted
You
the
sure?
idea of the second coming.
Wow. Are you hearing what he's saying to us? This architecture of the synagogue is not normal.
No, it's not.
There's something not normal, but everybody knows that this is a synagogue. It's even
So
said.
they say.
Wow, 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 wow. This is huge. This is huge. A synagogue with a east-west entry.
Direction, yeah.
You expect the synagogue to be built this way.
Yeah, from north to south.
The synagogue should have been built from up there, but the synagogue is built. Is this normal?
By the way, some scholars say that this synagogue was built west-east because of the topography of the place doesn't allow north-south. But if we go just
To the Ramah up, you could have easily do that.
10 meters from here, yes, there is enough room.
There's plenty of room. That doesn't make sense. This
I don't
appears to me like a deliberate design.
Directing, yes.
Yes. Wow. The proposal of what you are suggesting here, guys, what he is proposing here, that this synagogue has been built in a direction of what we can expect in a normative Christian church, and not in a synagogue. And now, if you put the evidence of the sink that you showed, whatever it is, with the cross, this is start to add
It
up.
might be connected, yes.
Well, the evidence here is overwhelming. Wow. That is, friends, we are doing the best to bring you some things that you're not going to see anywhere.
Rabbi Yitzchak.
Yeah,
Do you like to enter a synagogue?
Yes.
Why not?
Let's do it. Here we go, guys. I'm entering in.
You can see the benches around.
That's how they sit.
Yeah.
Wow, friends, this is how they sit in the synagogue. But again, listen, very interesting. Interestingly enough, east-west, but there's branches here, so they can still see Yerushalayim. Oh my!
Directed to Jerusalem.
This directed to Yerushalayim, but the architecture is east to the west. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Here we have an ox.
Oh my goodness. What do you think this...
This was probably the
Go
place.
there, go stand there so people understand. You think that was where maybe the darshan, maybe? The person who stood and spoke. The chazan, the cantor.
Yeah.
He stood there. And it makes sense because the people are praying.
The scroll was here.
The scroll, but this is the direction of Yerushalayim.
Right, because it's south.
Oh my gosh. So they're honoring the second coming of Yeshua
From the east.
from the east. I mean, this building this way.
Yeah.
And they also, as Jewish tradition tells us that Messianic Jews still adored Yerushalayim, they prayed toward Yerushalayim.
Saint Irenaeus tells us.
This is the church fathers, friends.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Friends, we are standing in what could be one of the, in my opinion, one of the greatest discoveries. If what you're suggesting is indeed true, and I think there is evidence, that's opening the door for us to understand that Messianic Jews indeed lived there.
Yeah.
And
shared synagogues with others.
yes. Well, I know we have more places to stop, so why don't you real quick recap for us this first shiur. What have we learned? What have we discovered? Here we go.
I want only other thing to show that this
Yes.
wall with the apsis,
Yes.
the apsis was part of the initial
How
building.
do we know that?
I will show you.
Okay, all right.
It's not an annex. It's
Okay.
not an addition.
It's not an addition, late addition.
It was part of the original building.
Okay.
You can show the decoration.
Yeah. Actually, look, friends, I can show you the decoration to the synagogue here, just so you can see.
Which is typically Jewish. Because
Very,
it shows no
very.
animals, no humans.
What is this? Do we know what
This is a rosette,
Okay.
and this is just a decoration.
Yeah, the מבנה ציבורי קדום. Yeah, they said. But here they say something that they always see this kind of stuff in 2nd century, this kind of stuff.
Even the 1st century.
1st century, amazing. Absolutely incredible.
Gate.
This is the gate to the synagogue.
Constructed.
This is all the original, friends.
No, this is not original.
This is not the original
No,
one?
it's reconstructed.
Oh, this is the reconstruction, but this is original, yes?
Yeah.
This is still the original, friends. So now remember this little area I showed you. The Eldad point is that this is part of the original structure of the synagogue.
Now, look at the wall.
Let's show the people.
Look at the wall. You can see that, stop here, that the other part of the wall, beyond the
Yeah.
apse,
Yes?
is not in the same line with this part. You
Yes.
can see it's projected.
Yes.
Well, if the apse was not added, the
would-
wall would be straight and not this
Curved.
part. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Are you following what Eldad is saying, friends? He's saying that this part facing to Yerushalayim was there just as it's suggested that Messianic Jews, just like any other Jew in the world, pray toward Yerushalayim. What an amazing, incredible possibility this is opening. Eldad, let's recap then the first shiur. What we learned here. What is, give us the highlights moment here.
Yeah. Christian Jews, Messianic Jews, and other Jews share the same place, the same laws, the same halakha.
Amazing.
The only difference was that these Jews accepted Jesus as Messiah. So, all the leadership around, Christian leadership and Jewish leadership, couldn't stand them because they did not accept.
So you think it's very, very likely that Messianic Jews and non-Messianic Jews pray there together at the same time?
I will show you a place
Although,
in an hour.
although we see the cross with the water, so
Maybe. I would give this cross a chance to be different to what I think.
okay.
Well,
But
maybe, and the latest part of this building was completely Christian. Maybe.
Maybe down the road later on.
Yeah.
You're saying.
Yeah.
But we know that the original structure was
Jewish.
with this. So what do you think actually took place in this little area?
Oh, the Holy Ark.
The Ark was here.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Which means that they praised to Jerusalem just as...
With the same books.
Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Friends, if you've been blessed by this shiur, quickly share it. Shocking. We are moving forward. There will be more shiurim released to you. This is exciting. This is truly a blessing to be able to give it to you. God bless you and continue to tune in.
Good
להתראות.
day.